Hello, I'm Bill Golden with PWCPolitics.com, and some of you know me by my blogger name, BillForDogCatcher.com. And I got that name because I asked my wife, I told her I wanted to run for election once. I wanted to be president of the United States, and she said I'd be lucky to be dog catcher as long as we're married. So that's where we're at. I want to thank you for coming with us today. This is Gerald Foreman, mayor of Dumfries, Virginia, one of the oldest cities or towns in Virginia. And, you know, you've got a great history there. I mean, other towns or areas talk about having a history, but Dumfries actually has a history. It was a major port, I think one of the largest ports at the time of the Revolution. Why don't you tell us a bit about Dumfries and your town?
Well, Dumfries is, as you said, we're one of the oldest charter towns. And it's great being mayor because we've seen a revitalization of the town of Dumfries. We were very, very active in the 1700s. George Washington came down, Patrick Henry came up, Thomas Jefferson. We've had all our founding fathers come to the town, and we were a hub. We were a county seat. We had the 4th courthouse. Then what happened, I think, where the town kind of lost some of this center of attention was Fairfax became a county. And George Washington determined he didn't have to come down here anymore. So he took his business up north.
That makes it tough.
It certainly does. And then they moved the county seat out of our town, and they moved it further into Prince William County. With that, the only thing that kept us going was the Tobacco Road, which is Route 234, and the Indian Highway, which is Route 1. After our bay, as you mentioned, was one of the biggest ports and one of the busiest ports. Over the years, it was silted in. And the silting happened for 2 reasons. If you listen to the people that do the anecdotal wisdom, they'll say it was because of the tobacco plantations. Tobacco is hard on the soil, and the soil just goes right into the bay. But most of it was due to the mining that was happening. The mines needed trees for fuel, and so they cut the trees, and then a combination of the tobacco, and then a combination of all the work. So with that, the sediment filled the bay in, and the town became a sleepy town. After the Civil War, our population went down, and then probably right around the 1900s, our population came back up. We are landlocked. We're 1.6 square miles. We have a bridge at the end of the bay, which does not allow commercial fishing to come in, and we have a population of 5,000, 2,500 voters, which ironically is the same amount of houses we have within the town. We've made it a great effort in the past 4 years. I know since I've been on the town council for the last 2.5, 3 years, and as the last year with the mayor, as being mayor, we've made a big effort to move the town forward. Take that sleepy feeling and say, okay, Prince William County, okay, Northern Virginia. We're active, we're here, and we're going to be involved.
Well, I know with the Route 1 widening and a lot of the efforts going in there, Dumfries is looking better than ever.
Yes. Route 1 means a lot. When I say Route 1 widening, we have 3 efforts with Route 1. The first effort was when I became a town councilman, I attended one of the things that was important to me was transportation. And I attended quite a few meetings with the Transportation Board. Once a year they meet, and we would go up and we'd plead for money. And when you're behind Prince William County and you're behind Fairfax and they're asking for millions of dollars, we were asking for $1 million.
Right.
And we wouldn't get it. So finally what happened was, as mayor, I was elected mayor, and I sat back and I said, okay, if we're going to move the town forward economically, if we're going to revitalize our old port district, if we are going to be part of Prince William County and the transportation corridor, it's time. I met with Corey Stewart and his staff, and it was funny. The town manager and I showed up, and Supervisor Stewart was there, and he had his whole entourage. I think there was 14 people there, and there was the town manager and myself. And the town manager said, "Wow, we're outnumbered." Being a retired Marine, I said, "No, these are pretty even odds." But one thing that came out of that meeting, the cooperative spirit of Supervisor Stewart was there, but his staff, and the staff was cooperative, but the staff made a salient point. In order for us to be considered for any bond, in order for the town of Dumfries to be considered for any roadway improvements, we have to get past the phase one, which is the surveying, the right-of-ways, and
Got to do your homework.
we do. We have to come to the table with something. And at that point, made an effort to meet with our senators, our congressmen. Delegate Torn was crucial and essential to this in the fact that he set up a meeting with the transportation secretary, and we told him what we needed, and it was $1.4 million. And our town is now going to receive that $1.4 million. This was voted before the transportation bill, by the way. We're going to receive the $1.4 million over the next 3 years. Mm-hmm. Maria Sinner was instrumental in she was a key architect in this as well with the VDOT. What that means is this. Next time there's a bond being floated with Prince William County, we can come to the board and say, look where we're at. The bi-county parkway, or the parkway that we just approved with the Northern Virginia Transportation Authority, as well as what the county's just approved through Loudon. And it's ironic. All roads appear to end or begin in the town of Dumfries,
right.
But yet we're not considered in the funding for the bill. And that's amazing to me.
Well, I think for some people, they start at I-95 and then go on, which is really a shame because you're within feet of I-95.
Correct. We're seeing improvements north of the town of Dumfries, and we're seeing improvements, a beautiful job within Triangle. Right. It's just that you hit the town of Dumfries, and we are one of the only locations where the road divides the town. Southbound goes right down Main Street, and northbound goes on the other side. So it literally paralyzes our town. We have what's called, as I've dubbed it, a cul-de-sac community. There's no way.
Part of the town actually is like an island.
Correct. Absolutely. There's no way for our citizens to go any place unless they jump on Route 1. We're one of the only communities like that. And I think that was a salient point with our elected officials. And now we have the attention. The two items we're working now is the 234 Route 1 interchange going to Potomac Shores, the new development that they're building just north of us. There's a road that the builders came and proposed to us, and the council as a whole rejected the plan. It creates more confusion and congestion at the 234 Route 1 intersection than it alleviates. So that's definitely going to be something that's going to be talked about again in the next 24 to 36 months.
Well, now, you said that you were a Marine, and I know once a Marine, always a Marine, and you got Quantico Marine Corps Base right down the street from you. How did Jerry Foreman end up in Dumfries? I mean, you weren't born there, right?
No, I wasn't. I did 25 years in the United States Marine Corps. I had 2 tours flying with the President of the United States at HMX. So during the election, it was brought up several times, well, you just moved here in 2006. And I said, okay, that's fine. But I lived here 81 to 83 with my first assignment, and then 89 to 92. I've seen this town of Dumfries go from a sleepy town to a town that wants to do something. And that's the key. As elected officials, we can sit on our laurels after the election, and we can maintain status quo, and we can have our stovepipes, if you will. I think there was a study once that from Cambridge University that said they're not called stovepipes, they're called centers of excellence. But in this particular case, politicians have stovepipes. And we represent the entire town. And the only way to move this town forward is to move it on multiple fronts, not a singular front. So take a lot of pride being from the area. Being a Marine, Archibald Henderson, he was the Commandant of the Marine Corps for 35 years. He was raised in the town of Dumfries. That was ironic. After I moved here, I found that out. And we were one of the key areas when they were founding the base of Quantico. They came and stayed in the town of Dumfries. And from there, they developed Quantico Marine Corps Base into what it is today.
Well, you know, I think so far you're doing a good job of telling Dumfries' story and doing it with enthusiasm. But one of the things we were talking earlier, and I'd like you to talk about, to sell Dumfries, you need to get people to Dumfries to experience the town, and you have a whole bunch of events throughout the year where people can participate. You've got one this weekend, but you have, how about, what are some of the cultural festivities and all that Dumfries can offer? And I've been to some of them, they're great.
They are, and that is one of the, I'm proud to be the mayor, but your chest swells when you start to attend the events. We have, if I may, we have 3 parks within the town of Dumfries. And these 3 parks, we have Garrison Park, which is behind Town Hall, and that's where our fall festival, or I'm sorry, our multicultural festival was run last weekend. We have
And I went last September. You had a great blues band. They actually brought in a semi-truck where the sides flip up for the stage.
They did.
That was nice.
They did. And I think that as that multicultural festival goes, it gets better and better each year. We also run our farmers market every Saturday out of the same parking lot next to Town Hall. We are proud to say that we have the largest Christmas parade within Prince William County. I would brag and say that probably in Northern Virginia, but I'm sure that the people up north outside our county would take that away from me. But we have over 110, 120 participants in the parade. It used to go for maybe 35, 45 minutes. I think last year's parade went for 2 hours with floats. So it's good. We have elected officials come down and they walk during the parade. It's for the kids. It's for our citizens. And when I say our citizens, all of our amenities within our town, even though we're a town, they're not only for our town citizens, they're for southeastern Prince William County. We're doing things for Triangle, Graham Park, Southbridge, our Marines at Quantico, and Montclair that only we can do. And that little town of Dumfries means a lot. The second park that we have is Merchant Park, and that's where our fall festival is, and also our charter days. And we did our Easter festival last year there, but this year we ran it to our new park that we have. We have the Gibb Memorial Park. And Gibb Memorial Park was built through a grant provided by Prince William County as well as our own town funding. And what a beautiful area it is. It's designed and made to be a leisure municipal park. It has a utility field for sports. It has an all-purpose court for basketball. It has horseshoe pits. It has swings, and we've put some barbecue pits in there too.
Now, what if someone wanted to come in and, you know, have a large family event, picnic out on the day and everything else, or hold a, let's say an association, a group event there? Are any of these parks available for that?
Yes, they are. The only thing that we cannot do with Gibb Memorial Park is because it was provided for in a grant, we cannot have organized sports there. So it broke my heart. We had a Pee Wee League football team come up and they wanted to use the park.
Right.
Well, the town government went back and looked through the grant paperwork, and it came back and it says it can't be used for organized sports. But I did meet with them, and I did say, hey, if you want to bring 4 or 5 players over, don't put them in pads, and you want to practice a couple of times, no one's going to say anything. All of our parks are not run by Prince William County. They do not belong to the Prince William County Park System. They belong to the town of Dumfries. And we welcome events. Nonprofits are highly encouraged to come down and attend and use the park. The scheduling for Merchant Park is done through the Weems Pop Museum, even though the town maintains it. But the other 2 parks, please stop down at Town Hall. We'd love to have you guys.
So let's switch to a different topic here. Dumfries is centrally located, and as a result, you share a zip code with other areas in the eastern part of Prince William. I think it's 22026.
Yes.
Let's talk about zip code change, and because there's been some controversy too. Some people have said, well, we understand that there are people who even want to change the name of Dumfries, although I know that's not true. But there are people, there's a lot of rumors flying about how the Dumfries area really should be Potomac, or what's the deal behind that?
Well, this is branding, and being the mayor for the town of Dumfries, there's a lot of pride in knowing our historic past. And I will tell you that the citizens of Triangle, the citizens of the residents and the Marines at Quantico Marine Corps Base, then the folks from the town of Dumfries, we've been here for a long time. We know our past, we know our history. And the rebranding I can understand development and bringing in new things. And I can understand trying to create an atmosphere for the future, but always respecting and taking care of your past. There was a rebranding that was done last year that to me didn't sit well to me as a councilman. It was about 18 months ago, and it didn't sit well with me as mayor. And I thought that we were done trying to rebrand something with such a strong historic past. We renamed our county supervisor, with the Board of Supervisors' approval, renamed the District of Dumfries to the Potomac District. For whatever reason, the District of Dumfries has always been there, and there's a lot of pride there. We have a Dumfries Road, 234, the old tobacco road. Everything started from that port that we talked about earlier, and it went from there. We were a county seat, a lot of historical figures coming in. Some of the rebranding, even though it was said it was done a few years ago, that it was talked about, and they dusted off the plans, the comma after the rebranding is what really stuck with me as a councilman and stuck with me as mayor. And that was when the elected official said, well, this is a good thing for two reasons. The first thing is it puts Potomac and ties us with the Potomac River. And the second thing is it alleviates the confusion with the town of Dumfries. Well, I didn't think that anybody that lived in the town of Dumfries had any confusion. And I didn't think that anybody within the district of Dumfries, magisterial district, had any confusion with the town of Dumfries.
And the river's been there for a couple centuries at least.
And ironically, the river belongs to Maryland. It doesn't belong to the
Right.
state of Virginia. So if we're going to rename something, let's rename it to the state of Virginia. And Dumfries certainly had its past. The zip code change that is being proposed right now is more along the lines of 22026. One of the things that I've been adamant about since I've been mayor is I look at the news sources, and the news sources will have an incident and they'll say town of Dumfries or Dumfries citizen or accident in Dumfries. But then you look at the address and it's a Montclair address or a Graham Park address or a Southbridge address. And I've written emails to the police department and or our county supervisor, and I've written emails to the news source and said, this isn't within the town of Dumfries. And the answer I got was very simple. The police report says 22026, which suddenly tells me this is a zip code thing. Right. And so what I've gone to the county supervisor with was, is there any way for the police department to change the way they report? If we can make a huge effort and change the name of the county to Potomac, we should make another step and rename, redo, if you will, fix the way that they report crime.
Well, taking care of the branding of Dumfries itself. I mean,
correct.
So
the 22026 right now, what's being proposed, and this is why I don't support the zip code change. The way it was presented to the town from the county was that Graham Park 22026 would be Dumfries. Graham Park, Triangle, Montclair, Southbridge would all have another zip code. Well, what happened in actuality is that they would be allowed to maintain the 22026. They would have the option, and this is the critical part, they would have the option of changing and saying Triangle 22026, although they could still do Dumfries and have their mail delivered. That's why I'm opposed to this. Right. If we're going to do something, let's not do it halfway. We rebranded something already and we named it for something that's in Maryland. Let's do the zip code change right. I'm all for Dumfries, the town of Dumfries, having 22026, and let's change the zip code for Graham Park and everything else. But I'll tell you from the citizens from those areas that have written me, they have no problem putting Dumfries 22026. And in fact, a couple citizens and businesses have told me if it's an option, we like to name Dumfries. We'd like to keep Dumfries on.
Well, Dumfries is looking really nice these days, and I get down there a lot because you are down near the Potomac, and you've got Quantico Bay and Quantico Creek, and that's got its own history, but you're doing things to improve that too. And that's going to only be good for the town of Dumfries.
We are. We passed a resolution last year at the town council. One of the first things that was a priority for me when I campaigned as a councilman and when I campaigned as mayor was taking pride in ownership. And over I continually say pride. The town of Dumfries we're locked. We're 1.6 square miles, 5,000 citizens. I think we've increased by 4 people from the last census, which is good. We're never really going to get any bigger. We have 2,500 homes and ironically 2,500 voters. I tell everyone I'm the mayor of 5,000 citizens, but actually I'm the mayor of at least 10,000 citizens 4 days a week when traffic is stopped on 95 and they're all on Route 1. The Quantico Bay is, our bay used to be all the way up to Main Street. Main Street was the main road going through town, and where Town Hall is, and if you look to the east, that was all bay. And we talked about it being silted in. One of the things that the Friends of Quantico Bay, which is a group of homeowners, an active group, but they're not an organization that's registered or they haven't filed anything to apply for grants or anything along this lines. They've been fighting a lone battle here, trying to get the bay dredged from sediment, cleaned of hydrilla, and then cleaned of trash.
Now, part of and part of this issue too is that you're also downstream from the entire rest of the county, which flows into Dumfries.
Yes, we are.
So, is Prince William chipping in to help with any of this?
This has been a point of discussion between Prince William County and us. We have two issues. We have the bay, which is where everything ends up, and we have Quantico Creek. Quantico Creek is fairly large, and 95% of Quantico Creek is within Prince William County. They have stormwater management program that they pay into, and they pay fees. We have our own stormwater management that we pay into. Unfortunately, when the construction's happening upstream within Prince William County, there's sediment coming down into it, and the velocity of the water coming off 95 as well as the road projects within Prince William County has eroded homes, have eroded the homes, their backyards up to 20 feet over the past 15 to 20 years. And it's hard to look at a homeowner and walk along Quantico Creek and they put a fence up, and 2 years, 3 years later, they have to replace the fence because it's washed into the creek. So the short answer is, our dialogue is with Prince William County, yes, but Prince William County has, they're doing projects upstream that are saying that will alleviate some of the flow of water, the velocity and the sediments, but no, they have not participated in helping us.
Now, in heavy rain or major storms, do you get flooding from this?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. The key here is going to be the town's going to have to be a little bit more active than what they've been in the past. I know in our fiscal year 14 budget, we are going after loans, or I should say not loans, we're going after grants. I've talked to our state senators, our delegates, and our congressmen, and they have been more than happy to say, yes, we can help. And we are more than happy to help with the letter writing and a letter of recommendation to start moving forward. We don't have, the town doesn't have a history of applying for grants and applying the money. I think once we get the grants and we set aside $40,000 a year for the next 5 years in our SIP to do stream water restoration and do some work within Quantico Bay. I think once we become active over the next 2 or 3 years with grants and our own money, I think Prince William County will come to the table. But from Prince William County's point of view, they're fixing things upstream. We have done nothing within the town. While I can see that point to a certain extent, I can say that as a Prince William County resident, we do pay taxes. And I'd like to see something done for stream restoration and Quantico Bay cleanup, considering half of Quantico Bay is within Prince William County.
Well, as we begin to close up here, is there anything that you'd like us to know about Dumfries and the Quantico Bay area, or your relations with Quantico itself? You know, is there a big thought that you'd like to leave folks with Dumfries, about Dumfries?
Dumfries is a good town. We're doing a lot of things right. We're a microcosm, our town government, of the larger governments. Prince William County, our state government in Richmond, and our federal government in Washington, D.C. Do we bicker? Sure. There's 7 of us on that. There's 7 of us on that dais, and we get a lot of things right. We can't do everything. I think our budget's $4.3 million, so we're small, but we are a town government and a town that offers a lot. In the past year, I have said over and over, and I will continue to say as long as I'm mayor, the town of Dumfries is serving the southeastern portion of Prince William County. We're doing things for our Marines and our sailors at Quantico Marine Corps Base, everything we have, we offer to them, our partnership with them. We do things with the FBI. We do every amenity we have. We don't tell our citizens it's just for the town of Dumfries. It's for Graham Park, it's for Triangle, it's for Montclair, and it's for Southbridge. Come down, enjoy our amenities. We're building. We're constantly building houses. We're building townhomes. We're improving our roads. We are where we need to be. Getting into this area now means a lot. We have buildings and industrial complexes for businesses to come down here. One of the things that we take pride in is supporting our government contractors. And we have something for everybody. I think that what you're going to see in the next 4 years is a town government that is focused on the vision that they wrote a few years ago and putting these amenities in place for a lifestyle for our kids, for our retirees, and for our active families.
Well, let me just say, as someone who's down there for many different reasons, I've seen only good in Dumfries for the last few years, and I think we'll only see good in the next few years to come. I want to thank you for coming today.
Thank you very much.
So I'm Bill Golden with PWCpolitics.com, and if you've got a community topic, issue, just something you want to discuss, you want to tell us about your community. You know, Prince William is a great place, and in Prince William we have a lot of great places to be. The town of Dumfries is one. Look us up online at pwcnews.com or pwcpolitics.com. This is Bill Golden saying thank you again for coming.
Thank you.
And I'll see all of you again sometime soon.